Hi there! Today I'm going to show you how to use the LaMotte 1200 colorimeter. This one is for testing ammonia nitrogen in your water quality samples. Before I show you the process of how to use the meter, I'm going to show you some of the equipment that you should get ready around you before doing the process. First of all, of course, you'll have the kit, the meter, and in the kit that comes with the meter, you will have reagent number 1, reagent number 2. You'll also have a 1 milliliter pipette that will be used for applying reagent number 2. You'll have a reaction tube, which is glass, and the cover to the reaction tube. Of course, you'll need to get your water sample ready, and it'll be in a bag or a bottle. And you should have a waste container here nearby for tossing and disposing of your reagents and your used water samples. It's also handy to have some kind of wipes or paper towels around in case you spill anything. And you'll need a timing device of some kind, either a cell phone or a watch. And definitely need some safety equipment. Goggles to protect your eyes from these caustic reagents, as well as some kind of gloves, disposable gloves. You will find that your test kit comes with instructions. Definitely have that out and ready to go. And finally, you will need to have some kind of data sheet for writing down your results, and of course, a pen for writing on the data sheet. Okay, now we're ready to go. We've got all our equipment ready, and I'm going to show you how to use the meter here. And I've got my instructions ready to go. Here's my water quality sample. I've got the sample ID and the date on there. And the first thing I'm going to need to do is rinse out my reaction tube to get it ready to go for the sample. It's always a good idea to rinse this out about 3 times prior to starting the test. And you want to always rinse it out with your water quality sample. So I'm going to open the bag. This particular type of bag is called a Whirl Pack bag. And you can make a little bit of a spout with the bag. Hold it tight down here. And just pour a little bit of your sample water in there. Not enough to use up all the sample because we need to make sure we have plenty left. Just enough to rinse out the inside of the reaction tube. Cover it well, shake it to get any residual water from any previous water quality samples out of there. And then dump it into your waste container over here. So do that 3 times just to get the tube ready to go. Because these glass tubes that come with the kit get used for all kinds of different water samples, so you don't want to cross-contaminate between your samples. I'll do it one more time here, and then I'll be ready to go. Okay, now we are ready. Now that our tube is clean, we're going to add 10 milliliters of our water quality sample to this reaction tube. And it sometimes is a little tricky to get right to that 10 milliliter line. You want to make sure the bottom of your meniscus, which is that curve in the water, is right in line with that 10 milliliter line. I put just a little bit too much, so I'm going to pour just a little bit out. And it's always important to never pour back into your water sample bag. Always pour excess water into your waste container. So now that I've got 10 milliliters, I'm going to cover this up. Of course, I've gotten some water on the table and I've gotten some water on the glass tube. It's always good to clean off the glass tube before putting it into the meter. You want it nice and dry. Then I open my meter, and you see here there is a vertical line. That is called an index line, and you want to line that vertical line up with a little arrow that's right here. Push that all the way in, and then cover it. And then what you'll do is hit the read button to turn on the meter, and then press the 0 button and hold it down for 2 seconds. And this is called a blank sample. We haven't added any reagents to it, so we're just zeroing out the blank for 2 seconds. And it blinks, you probably saw it said BLA, and then it should say 0 parts per million. So now the blank is ready to go. Take the tube back out and take the top off. And first we'll add 8 drops of the ammonia nitrogen reagent number 1. And when you do this, it's very important to hold the reagent bottle straight up and down so that you get even drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you may want to do that a little bit more slowly than I did, just to make sure you don't add too many drops. Now, what you'll do is cap it and mix it up. What I like to do is just invert it, not a thorough shake, but just a kind of a gentle tossing around of the water to get that reagent mixed in there. And then we're going to add reagent number 2. So open the top to that. Open the top to your reaction tube. And try not to get them mixed up like I was just about to. And use your 1 milliliter pipette to get this into the reaction tube. And there's a little line here that says 1 milliliters. So you'll need to drop it in there. It's a good idea to squeeze the top of the pipette before you drop it in, just to get all the air out. And then go to the bottom of the reagent bottle and then unsqueeze the pipette. And don't have quite 1 milliliter there, so I'm going to try it again. You may have to tilt the reagent bottle a little bit just to get enough liquid in there. Okay, great. So this time I got just right 1 milliliter, right at that line. And I'm going to drop that into my reaction tube and make sure to squeeze it all out. Okay, and then cover both of these. And once again, lightly shake the reaction tube. Now it's time for the reaction to happen. And what you'll need to do is get your timer out and put it to 5 minutes and hit start. And we'll wait for 5 minutes for this reaction to happen. Okay, we've got just a few seconds left on our timer here, our 5-minute timer, and then we'll get our result. All right, time is up, and we will then take our reaction tube here, open up the top of the meter, line up our vertical index line with this arrow, and push the tube all the way in, cover it up, and all we have to do to get our reading is push the read button just for a split second. Ignore that first number that flashes up there, and this is our actual result, 1.58 parts per million of ammonia. So we'll write that down on our data sheet, and then we can turn off the meter. To do that, hit the read button just for a couple seconds and it will say off, and lift up your finger, and then we're done. Now to clean up, what you'll want to do is dispose of the sample in the waste container and rinse out this tube with some distilled water or even tap water, just to get it nice and clean, and make sure to also clean the inside of the cap. And that's it. Thanks for listening, and good luck.